Joining us this morning is last minute guest that we booked yesterday, I think it was, wasn't it, Dale?
Yes.
Dale Son.
About 11 o'clock at night, in fact. Thank you very much, by the way, for fitting me in. I really
that's no
appreciate
problem,
it.
because you have a thing, you have a deadline coming up, which I'm going to have you explain regarding an event that's coming up on Monday, so we had to do it today. I'll turn it over to you, Dale, and explain what's going on.
Okay. Denny Malloy from is the regional director for Whitetails Unlimited, called me yesterday afternoon, in fact, and said they were going to have a deer hunters open house, or a forum at Yankee Lake, at the Yankee Lake Ballroom. And he's pressured the chief of the Division of Wildlife, Chief Zodi, and Mike Tonkovich, our deer biologist, to come up and explain to the hunters of the Northeast Ohio area why the reasoning, or the way they come up with their numbers for the deer harvests. Okay, because if you folks have read my articles, you'll notice that they're going on a county by county basis this year. They're giving out so many tags in Trumbull County, so many in Ashtabula. Lake County may be down to 2 tags, or and they can't give us a definitive reason or statistics or a calculation to come up with how they're devising their deer numbers. Okay, over the last several years, since they've been giving out these multitude of antlerless tags, they've been constantly saying we've almost got the deer herd down to a manageable level in the state of Ohio. Well, the sportsmen, at least in the whole state, but mainly right now, we're Northeast Ohio, we want to know what that manageable level is. We're not saying we don't agree with them. We're just saying, tell us what this manageable level is. And right now, they're not coming up with a number like they used to statewide, per se. 10 years ago, the number used to be 600, 650,000 deer in the state of Ohio. Now, with it down to a county by county basis, there's no definitive calculation that we can get out of them, per se. And that's what we're looking for.
What's their point? I guess
their point is, this is my own personal opinion, okay, is they're trying to bring the doe herd down, the deer herd, mainly the does, down to what they consider a level where it's acceptable to the hunters, as well as to the Farm Bureau, who controls a lot of the hunting regulations, all right, as well as the insurance companies. Okay?
Why the insurance company?
Deer accidents, car accidents, okay. The insurance companies have a lot to say when it comes to the Division of Wildlife.
I never knew that.
Yeah, they do, and the farmers too. Okay, the Farm Bureau has a lot to say.
So are they saying it's overpopulated then? Bottom line, or
bottom line probably is, yes. They're probably saying we have too many deer in the state of Ohio. Okay, but the hunters aren't seeing them. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have some land my parents and I and my wife bought about 15 years ago in Trumbull County. Okay, got it for a really good price, etc., whatever. But I haven't got a deer out there in 2 years, and it's not because I don't hunt hard. Okay, I hunt 30, 35, 40 plus days a year when it comes to. I'm an avid bow hunter, and this past year I might have seen 4 deer while I was in the bow stand.
Why do you think? Why do you think this?
They've taken the herd down to a level where the hunters themselves are not seeing as much.
Really?
I honestly believe that. Yes. Again, they won't give us any numbers. They used to do aerials and roadkill counts and various other ways of coming up with an estimated number of the deer herd in the state of Ohio. Okay.
So you're saying
the Division of Wildlife, yes. Mm-hmm.
How can they? See, that's what I don't understand. How can they do that? How can they get rid of these deer, or bring it down to that, and get away with it? I just don't understand.
Well, how are they doing it?
How are they doing it? I guess.
First of all, how are they doing it? How are they bringing it?
They give numbers to the Wildlife Council. Okay, the Wildlife Council is a 8-member staff that meets in Columbus on a monthly basis. In fact, I think their next meeting coming up is I got to read my notes here. March 12th. Okay, and what they do is they propose in the beginning of March, after they get their numbers from the deer harvests from the prior season.
Right.
They propose to the Wildlife Council how many deer we're allowed to take. Again, like in Ashtabula County this year, it's going to be 3. Okay, Trumbull County will be 4. It's a 2 antlerless and 1 either/or tag in Ashtabula, and it'll be 3, 2 either/or and 2 antlerless in Trumbull. Okay, but they propose these numbers and these regulations to the Wildlife Council. The Wildlife Council takes it back, debates it amongst themselves and agrees or disagrees or alters it or whatever. Okay, and I'm not saying anything against the Wildlife Council because...
Excuse me, Dale, we're getting
Sure.
a call here. Hi, you're on the air.
Morning, Pat. Morning, Steve.
Hey, Tom.
Morning, Dale.
Hi, Tom.
I want to add one more thing into that mix, Dale.
Sure.
Money and licenses.
Definitely. Yeah, I wasn't going to touch on that, but I can explain that. Okay, when they take the antlerless tags away, which are a reduced rate at $15, and they say you can buy a either/or tag, the either/or tag costs $24.
Exactly.
So you're up $9 on an extra tag if you want to buy that tag per se.
Well,
Yes.
not only that, just the fact that they have those licenses available for you to buy, and then after a certain point, those licenses are no good.
Right.
And the other thing about that whole mess is the fact that if there was such an overpopulation in the state of Ohio, and I agree with what you said, I have not seen the deer, and I live in an area right over here by one of your friends, but anyway, on Woodruff Road, and I used to see tons of deer over here, and I don't see hardly any more.
Right. Yeah.
Tom, driving over here on the east side, I from deer season on, I'm figuring I'll see a deer or two, stepping out in front of me. I have, knock on wood, I have not seen one deer all year long.
Well, I see deer, but not in the numbers that I used to see them.
Uh-huh.
And that's what Dale's talking about, is the fact that the numbers there was a point, and Dale will agree with me, where there was too many deer.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they needed to be trimmed down, and that was a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But then after about, I want to say about 5 years after that happened, and they did start trimming them down, then they should have knocked it off. But they kept trimming more and more and more and more
Right.
until now it's just, I remember at one time, and Dale will tell you the same thing, it used to be like 1 in 20 hunters got a deer.
Right.
And then it went down to like 1 in 5 people got a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's probably right back up to 1 in 20, or not even further than that.
That's entirely possible, yeah.
Wow.
If you remember 10 years, I'm going to say maybe about 15 years ago, they handed out 4 tags for about 4 years. And that's when the deer herd was up around 650. They brought the deer herd down to 450, and the sportsman said, whoa, we're not seeing any deer. And the Division of Wildlife said, oops, we made a mistake. So they cut us back to 2 tags throughout the whole state.
When you say 2 tags, you're allowed to get 2
deer, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one would be an antlerless, and one could be, well, you could have 2 antlerless or a buck and a doe, or an antlerless, okay, either way. But they cut us back to 2 for about another 4 or 5 years, okay, and brought the herd back up, and all the hunters and all the sportsmen were happy again, okay. But now, because and again, I'm gonna bite my cheek when I say this because of pressure from the Farm Bureau and the insurance companies and maybe other entities out there too. I'm a big supporter of the Division of Wildlife. I think they do a great job. Jason Warren, our present wildlife officer, is a great guy. Jason Hansel, his predecessor, was a great guy. We have had a lot of great wildlife officers in Ashtabula County. But because it's so big and so intimidating, they don't stay long, okay? They run down to one of the little southern counties where they can make it across the county in 15 minutes instead of an hour and a half like ours, But again, I'm a big supporter of the Division of Wildlife. I think we just want answers.
Well,
answers.
The other thing I want to say to that, Dale, is the fact that at one point in time, the Division of Wildlife was not a division. It was a department.
Okay.
And then it went under the auspice of the Natural Resource Department.
Right.
And all these other departments, then their fingers started getting into the pot.
Mm-hmm.
And they started taking money away from the Wildlife Division, put into the Natural Resource Department.
Right.
And I think, like I said before, that $15 that they get extra for every doe, even if you don't even get a doe, and there's people out there that buy these tags, and they don't get them filled, but they think they can get them filled. So there's $15 more every time you turn around going into the Department of Resource. I think the Department of Resource has grown outside its britches.
That may be entirely possible. I mean, I bought 2 of the antlerless tags this year. I burned them up. I mean, I didn't use them, you know, but and in all actuality, I don't even have to buy them because I hunt my own land a lot, but I do hunt other places, and I want to be legal. So I've got my doe tags. If I see one, you know, my antlerless tags, I can tag an antlerless deer.
Did you get no deer this year?
Nothing.
Wow. I didn't get a deer either this year, Dale.
God,
wow.
Maybe we got to go to Pennsylvania, Tom. They've supposed to got a lot of deer over there now.
Well, I got a beef with that state too, and I used to love to hunt over there, and I had good friends over there and everything, but that got out of hand too.
Well, when they put the antler restrictions on, that's when I quit going there. You know?
They hated the non-residents.
Oh, they did. Yes, you're right.
They drove us out of that state.
Yes, they did. Yep. No.
But anyways, I'll let you go, but I just want to throw those things in there because I think it's even further than just the insurance company and the Farm Bureau.
That's entirely possible.
I think it's also involved with the Division of Wildlife and the Natural Resource Department.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. You have a nice day.
Have a nice weekend, Tom. Thank you. Coming up this coming Monday is the Deer Hunters Open House. It's going to be held at Yankee Lake Ballroom in Brookfield, Ohio. And that's up towards Cleveland, right?
No, it's south here.
South, is it south?
It's south on 7 in Route 7 northeast, I think. That's what it says here. Yeah.
And they want to get some people there to discuss the Ohio deer herd and season changes with the ODNR deer team leader, Dr. Mike Tonkovich, and also be moderated by State Representative Sean O'Brien from the 63rd District. If you're a hunter, it's going to affect you, so you want to attend this particular meeting. Hi, you're on the air.
Morning, Pat. Morning, Steve. This is James.
Yes?
Hi,
Yeah,
James.
I just wanted to make a comment about the deer you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a whole lot of them around here this year. I've seen like maybe, probably the one that went through the verdicts window.
Right.
And probably a couple more around here. But I tell you what, there's a lot of them out in PA.
Oh, really?
And they're not little ones, they're big ones, because I've hit a couple of them already so far this year, so.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you did hit one recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did. I was on my way to work. I was running late, and I was on my way to work, and four big ones went right across the road in front of me, and I happened to end up tagging the last one, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of them out that way, a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that.
And like I said, they're not small deer or anything. They're big boys too, big ones.
Uh-huh.
And it's right there around 20. So I don't know if maybe they're cutting down the deer herd out that way as well.
Maybe on the borderlines of maybe on the borderlines of PA and Ohio. You know, the PA is happen. You know, yeah, but. In fact, the sportsmen of Ohio or of Pennsylvania are to the point now where there's no Sunday hunting in Pennsylvania, like we have here. Okay,
oh, really?
And the sportsmen are petitioning the Pennsylvania Division of Wildlife for Sunday hunting now. Okay, which you know, it's good for the working man. Okay, it gives them an extra day to be out there. And
right.
So, you know,
right.
guys work 9 to 5.
Are they gonna cut down the deer herd out there as well as around here?
In Pennsylvania, not that I've heard. Not that I've heard. Okay, like I say, Dr. Alt took it down pretty heavily back in the late '90s, early 2000s, and it's now starting to come back. And I think with them giving them the Sunday hunting, you'll see a higher harvest rate over there in Pennsylvania as a result of that. And that might bring it a little bit more in line, per se. You know?
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, James. Thank you.
All right, James. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. All right. Again, this is Monday. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the program begins at 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. And I think Dale would like to see a good turnout.
Definitely. Denny called me and said, we need representation down there from Ashtabula County. Ashtabula County, the biggest county in the state of Ohio. We were in the top 10 for deer harvests this year, okay? Which, turkey-wise, yeah, we're always up there, okay? We're number 1 or number 2. It's unusual for Ashtabula to be in the top 10 for deer harvest, but I think the reasoning for that is because of all the tags they have given out, okay? But you know, this is an important meeting for anybody out there that's a deer hunter that wants to know why these tags are being indiscriminately, I'm going to say, given out. And you know, give us some numbers, give us some statistics, give us a calculation how you do this. Don't just say we're throwing a dart at a board and, well, you guys get 2 and you guys get 3, etc.
I think that they owe you that. I think it's their responsibility.
Definitely. And the Sportsmen of Ohio should agree that. I mean, we're, and without sounding too derogatory against the Division of Wildlife, we're the ones that pay their salary.
Right.
We're the ones that buy the licenses and pay for all the things they have. Not the farmers and not the insurance companies, okay? Mm-hmm. To a certain extent, they should answer to us before they answer to them. You know, mm-hmm. Again, I don't want to bash them because, like I said, they do a lot of good, and
it all boils down to, Dale, and I think you'll agree, it's politics. I mean, anytime politics gets involved, you're going to have problems and power drives.
Politics and money.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. And Chief Zodi is a great guy, mm-hmm. But he's from the private sector. Normally, when they appoint a chief, he comes from within the Division of Wildlife or the Division of Natural Resources. For whatever reasonings, Governor Kasich went on the outside and pulled in somebody from the private sector this year. And I'm not saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, because I'm sure he does, and he's got a lot of good people underneath him that are advising him. And again, we just want to know where these numbers are coming from and why they're there. I mean, I've got a press release here. If you don't mind, Pat, I'll read a little bit of it. It says, deer hunting is very important to the economy and traditions of the Ohioans and their families, said Sean O'Brien. This forum is a chance for hunters who pay for licenses and manage the herd through their sport and tradition, and the state of ODNR officials who dictate the seasons and regulate the laws to come together and share thoughts, concerns, and experiences. A few changes in the past seasons have caused concern with local conservationists and sportsmen. Denny Malloy, Regional Director for Whitetails Unlimited, said the Ohio deer harvest was down close to 20% this past year. This causes a slowdown in local economy. Taxidermists, processors, sporting goods outlets see a decrease in the hunting-related businesses. Sportsman leaders have asked for answers to questions regarding the process of season regulation changes, future plans for deer in Ohio, and results of the elimination of the check-in stations, loss of late gun seasons, and the success of the early traditional seasons. What they did this past year is they took away an extra weekend of gun. And notoriously, they used to kill somewhere around 12,000 deer on that weekend. They gave us an extra weekend of muzzleloader in the early season, in the beginning of October, second week of October. During that season, they only killed 6,000 deer. Reasoning behind it, probably a lot of hunters didn't want to get out there in 50, 60, 70 degree weather and kill a deer. There aren't as many black powder hunters as there are gun hunters, okay? So if they really wanted to drop the herd down, they were better off with the extra weekend of gun rather than the extra weekend of muzzleloader. But again, we weren't really given a reason why they eliminated one and gave us another, okay? And that's things that I think, and a lot of other people do too, a lot of the other hunters and sportsmen out there think the Division of Wildlife owes us an answer. Yes. Okay?
You won't get any answers on Monday night, right?
I hope we will.
You think?
I really hope we will. If Chief Zodi is there and Dr. Tonkovich, okay, Dr. Tonkovich is a a doctor's degree in wildlife biology. He is our deer herd biologist. He should be able to give us the answers, I would hope, okay? If he doesn't, then we're going to be back to square one again.
Yeah, because you'd have to petition the state, I would imagine. You'd have to.
Yeah. And we need to do this. We need to come out here in force during this meeting, because of the fact that the open house where they decide this is coming up on April 9th or something to that effect. March 12th, there's another meeting of the Wildlife Council, which again, they'll discuss these proposals, etc. And then if I'm not mistaken, April 9th or something to that effect is when they will actually vote on them, and it will become a regulation per se.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So we held at Yankee Lake Ballroom, Brookfield, Ohio, this coming Monday, just a couple days from now. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the program begins at 7 p.m. If you're a hunter out there and you have something you want to listen to or discuss, this is the place to go.
And it's free?
It's free.
Free admission, and there's refreshments provided too, so.
Yep. Whitetails Unlimited is going to have refreshments there. What they'll be, I don't know, but I mean, it should be informative. Okay.
I would think so.
Yeah, well, good luck to you there, Dale.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat.
Come
Thank
back and
you,
see
Steve.
us again, okay?
I will definitely do that.
All right. Keep us up to date on this.
Okay, I will do that
There's
too.
a lot of hunters from
Yeah.
this area.
Yeah. Yeah.